911, what is your emergency?
Hello? Fucking hurry up, man. My girlfriend's in the bathroom. She gonna breathe for me. I mean, like, oh my God, she's gonna die, man. Come on. Okay, come here, man. Please.
I can barely understand what's going on.
No, my God, she was springy, and then, like, I don't know when she went to the bathroom, and when I went there, it was full and everything, like, I don't know, man, she's not breathing. I mean, like, she's gonna die, man. Come on, son. That's all you know, man.
What is the address?
I don't know. I just smell my here.
Let's look up with the address on it so we can get her some milk.
Baby, come on, man. Please don't close your eyes, baby. Come on.
Okay. I need to look for something with the address on it so we can get her some milk.
Oh, baby.
Sir, I need the address so I can get her some milk.
Listen, I'm right. I don't know, it's just to be outside with the dominant scammer. I don't care. She was here. She just rented the apartment with me. She was here. She's systematic in this.
Okay.
I don't know, man. She's not breathing, man. She's not breathing. She's gonna die. She's not breathing, man. Come on, man.
What apartment are you in? Sir, tell me what apartment are you in?
Okay, come on, Bobby, please send the phone right here. She's gonna die, man. Come on, she's gonna die.
So I'm gonna send you some help, okay? Sir, stay with me. I'm gonna send you help, okay?
In this 911 call, the man's voice was shaky and full of panic as he begged for help, trying to explain in the best way to the dispatcher that his girlfriend wasn't breathing. What initially seemed like a real emergency to responders would soon reveal the true and unimaginably horrific reality upon their arrival at the scene. This case stands as one of the most graphic and gruesome murders ever recorded, with fresh, raw pieces of internal organs found scattered throughout the apartment. The man responsible unleashed unimaginable horrors on his girlfriend, Maria. Acts as so disturbing, they could sicken even the most hardened criminal minds. Viewer discretion is strongly advised, as the details of this case are both graphic and deeply unsettling.
You came here today voluntarily to provide a statement about what happened last night?
Yeah.
Okay. No threats or promises have been made to you. We've been...
No, I just came here. I just want to find out why she's dead. What happened to her.
Okay.
The man in the interrogation clip is Fidel Lopez, who, after having an overwhelming breakdown over the call, sat with the detectives to portray himself as the best boyfriend, while putting every solid evidence found at the crime scene onto his girlfriend. But eventually, interrogators would reach the bottom of the story, only to have their minds blown over how such a horrifying murder could even be a possibility. The spine-chilling act performed on the 31-year-old Maria Nemeth left her lifeless body in a scene so disturbing that one wouldn't even come across something like it in a slaughterhouse. The young couple, who appeared to share a loving relationship, showed no signs of trouble until one night of drinking took a dark and tragic turn, silencing Maria's life forever. Maria, having recently separated from her husband of 8 years, went to a nightclub where she met Fidel. The two hit it off immediately and began dating shortly after. Just a year into their relationship, she would tragically become the victim of a gruesome murder that would shock everyone. Their relationship blossomed quickly, and within this short time of knowing each other, the couple decided to move in together. They left their original residence and moved into Maria's family home in Hialeah, while they searched for a place of their own. Soon they found a place to share in Florida, since Maria worked as a leasing manager at Colonnade Residences. Finding a flat was easy for them.
You know what she does there?
Yeah, she's a system manager.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, she passed the checks, she works apartments, see the damage and things like that, reporter.
Okay.
The two had only started living together, and it hadn't even been a full week before she was found dead, with her body fluid and tissues covering every single corner of their new home. Their family and friends were left in shock, questioning what had gone so terribly wrong between a couple who, from the outside, showed no signs of trouble or conflict. Nobody, not even Maria, knew the dark side Fidel had been hiding from everyone. One night of drinking gone wrong, and he unleashed his monstrous side on her. Jealousy was a major factor in this case, as Fidel wasn't a fan of Maria's ex-husband. Reports later revealed that he was often a topic of argument between the couple. However, no one could have predicted that Fidel would react so violently to something minor, especially when there was no evidence that it had actually occurred, as its existence was only supported by Fidel's claim. Later in the investigation, Fidel would reveal the true source of his anger, claiming that Maria had said her ex-husband's name instead of his during sexual intercourse.
But when we were doing making love, she told me something that I really don't. It just she changed my name. She called me the other name of the other guy, and then she said it twice. And she was wrong. She was confusing me with him. I didn't want to kill her. I know I killed her. That's whatever I did with her was the reason.
On September 19, 2015, Fidel was on his way home to cook dinner with Maria after finishing his work shift at a truck shop. The two then decided to visit Fidel's mother in Miami. Up until that point, everything seemed normal between them. Even his mother remarked that they appeared to be in love when they came to see her. After the visit, Maria and Fidel stopped at a restaurant where they ordered margaritas. They then went to an alcohol store to buy a large bottle of tequila. This marked the beginning of the sinister events that would follow. As they reached their home, the couple took a few quick shots, almost immediately getting intoxicated. During their drinking session, something went so horribly wrong that the next thing a drunken Fidel knew was calling 911 for help. By the time the call was made, it was already past midnight. The date had changed to the 20th of September 2015. When the police arrived at apartment 308, they were taken aback by a scene that could only be described as a bloodbath. There wasn't a single surface that wasn't painted red with Maria's blood. The hallway and door frames had blood splattered all over them, but that wasn't all. The blood loss had been so extreme that a good amount of it was found dripping from inside the closet. However, Maria's body wasn't found inside there. As officers entered the apartment, they found Fidel in a state of apparent misery, crying uncontrollably for help. He was found standing beside Maria's lifeless body, which lay gut-wrenching on the bathroom floor near the doorway. She was lying naked on her back, her lower body brutally mutilated and drenched in blood. It was a sight that haunted even the most seasoned investigators. By the looks of the horrific trail of blood in front of them, the officers knew Maria had been dragged through the apartment. Soon a crime scene was taped at the apartment. Officers recorded every piece of evidence that was present in all its gruesome form. Even the walls and doors were damaged. The glass sliding door was found completely shattered on the floor, and the drywall had fist-sized holes punched into it. The place was a mess where the carpet was covered in nothing but body tissues and glass shards. As officers examined the horrifying scene and Maria's lifeless body more closely, a disturbing realization began to unfold. Among the bloody display, they spotted raw, flesh-like pieces spread across the floor and near the closet. It became horrifyingly clear. Fidel had gutted Maria, and those scattered chunks were parts of her intestines and internal organs. In comparison to this case, very few murder cases have ever recorded such a grotesque level of violence and torture inflicted on a victim. The door of the closet, found dismantled and lying on the floor, indicated that a serious physical altercation had happened inside the apartment. The neighbors next door in apartment Ferner 307 reported that they had been hearing extreme yelling from Maria's apartment. They described loud yelling, heavy banging, and prolonged screams, all distinctly from a male voice. The chilling sounds were heard for 2 hours straight. It was a clear indication that Maria endured Fidel's brutal torture for hours. Given the horrifying state of the apartment, this grim detail came as no shock to the investigators. Maria's tragic death was officially recorded at 4:02 a.m. on Sunday, 20th of September 2015. Based on witness accounts and the devastating scene inside the apartment, it became clear that Fidel had chased Maria throughout the apartment unit. And when she desperately tried to hide, he went as far as removing the closet door, leaving her with no way out and sealing her fate in a night of unimaginable horror. The official cause of death was determined to be blood loss, resulting from evisceration, which is the horrific act of forcibly removing someone's internal organs. Upon further inspection of the scene, the officers discovered a half-empty bottle of tequila and scattered lime wedges near the kitchen, with some resting on a cardboard box, which the couple had used as a table during their drinking session. The more gory details of the crime were later revealed by Fidel himself when he was brought in for an interview at around 7 a.m. on Sunday, 20th of September 2015. He had voluntarily agreed to come to the police station, hoping to help detectives answer the haunting question: why was Maria murdered in such a brutal manner?
You came here today voluntarily to provide a statement about what happened last night?
Yeah.
Okay. No threats or promises have been made to you. We've been...
No, I just came here. I just want to find out what she's dead. What happened.
As he was brought into the CID conference room, his interview began at around 7:40 in the morning. He would eventually reveal the haunting series of events that led to such violence, but before that, he kept making up stories and deflecting the detectives' questions.
You have the right to speak to an attorney before speaking to the police, or to have an attorney present during questioning now or in the future. Do you understand?
He fully complied as the officer read him his Miranda rights, acknowledging the proceedings as the interview began.
Exclusive? You guys, boyfriend, girlfriend, no other...
No.
Has she ever been married before?
Yeah, she was.
She was. How long was that?
She was married for 8 years.
8 years?
With another guy.
Have any children?
No.
Okay. Have you ever been married before?
No.
You have any children?
I do.
You do? How many?
I have two.
Two?
The officer started with basic questions to learn about his background and check his ability to understand the questions before he came to the real interrogation.
Is this socially drink or?
Yeah, man, we like to drink.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't consider myself as an alcoholic, but I like to drink. I like to have my beer once in a while, and you know, when we move here, all this day we've been drinking, not like a lot, every day, because I have to go to work.
Yeah.
But when I come back from my work, I would drink a couple beers. Okay. You know.
What about Maria?
Maria, the same thing. She don't drink unless I drink. You know.
So
she likes to drink, but she knows I get mad if she drinks by herself, because I know she get like a little crazy when she drinks.
Okay.
Notice how right from the very beginning, he set the tone, subtly introducing the crazy girlfriend narrative into his answers so he could paint her as the one at fault as the interrogation progressed. His body language and slurred speech made it evident that he was still under the influence of alcohol he had consumed earlier that night.
So let's start. Today, you worked. Today's Sunday.
Today's Sunday.
Yesterday was Saturday. Did you work Saturday?
Yeah, I worked Saturday.
Okay, what time did you get off?
I get off around 4:20.
Around 4:20.
Exactly. I have my papers and my receipt.
And what about her? What time is she?
She went to work. Also, she went to work yesterday. She don't work weekends, but she went to the office.
Yeah.
For a couple hours, 2 hours.
Okay. The officer, after asking about how they spent their weekend, brought up the question about driving. Now, the answer Fidel gave sounded normal at first, but it would later play an important role in understanding the motive behind his violent actions.
You have a car?
A car?
You drive?
I drive, but I'm using her car.
Using her car?
Yeah.
Okay, what kind of car does she have?
She have a Scion TC 2009.
A what?
Scion TC. Scion, Toyota Scion.
Oh, Scion. Okay. Scion. All right. So you use her car when you have to go to work or when you have to
you know, she would just walk to the office and she don't need to use the car, so then I'm using the car to go to my job. And,
yeah,
you know.
Absolutely.
He now comes to the part where they returned home after buying the tequila.
Okay, we get to the house. She was already like kind of tipsy from the margaritas and chilies. You know, we start to drink. We put like two cardboard, boxes in the floor. We put the lime on top, and because we don't have furniture, so we're about to buy I want to get paid. We're about to buy furniture, TV, the TV, things like that, you know.
Okay.
And so we put the 2 boxes on the floor in the dinner room, and then we started drinking and talking and listening to music. And you know, we have a lot of shock of the tequila. Then, in my position, I can handle it. You know, I can handle the drinks. But sometimes, you go a little crazy. And she was a lot crazy. And so she was asking me for stuff that she never asked me for that before. So,
like what?
The thing with the arm and shit like that. And, I never done that with nobody, especially with her.
Fidel kept repeating how Maria would act crazy when she drank, while he claimed he could handle alcohol. This seemed quite contradictory, especially after the horrifying crime scene he created while being in a drunken state. He then started talking about some odd things Maria had asked him to do, things that he claimed that he had never done before. The officer then asks him to explain what he meant by the arm thing.
So explain what kind of stuff was she asking? What do you mean with the arm?
I mean, first she started talking like something like, I was uncomfortable with it, like, oh, one day I want you to put a bottle on my foot, I'm sorry, I'm just talking right now with you guys,
Yeah. I want you to be open,
and I respect her, and
absolutely, and
You're
not disrespecting her. You're just telling us what she told you, what she wanted you to do. It's not disrespectful.
I'm a man. I'm her man. So whatever she asks me, I'll do it.
Okay.
Whatever it is. I don't care what it is. Even if she want me to put my hand in her, put it.
Okay.
I put it. So she was telling me that, and then I don't remember really if I did it with the bottle too, or if I not, because I was really.
As Fidel kept talking, the officers began to understand what he meant when he mentioned the arms and hands. His story started to match the details of Maria's death and the condition she was found in. Even though Fidel was speaking in circles, his words were slowly revealing the truth about what really happened that night. He then revealed that Maria had asked him to insert a beer bottle into her.
What kind of bottle are you talking about?
It's a beer bottle.
A beer bottle? Okay. All right.
This means that before she got her internals out by this monster, he had inserted other objects in her as well. Details would get more disturbing ahead, as the full extent of the violence is revealed. Now, thinking of how to cover up the story of how Maria ended up in the bathroom, he brought up another lie about how she wanted to use the bathroom after they had been involved in sexual activity.
When we were doing stuff and all the things, she told me she wanted to throw up to get out of the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
So I get out of the bathroom, and I was outside. I believe I was smoking a cigarette. I don't remember if the door was already break or something. I really don't know. I know I break it because she is not strong enough to break it.
What door are we talking about?
The glass door. I just remember I see glass in the floor, man. I really don't remember when I break it or why I break it. To be honest with you, I really don't remember.
Up to this point, Fidel tried to spin a story that he came home, had drinks, and engaged in rough but couldn't recall how things escalated into the gruesome scene the officers encountered in the apartment. Aware that blaming Maria for shattering the glass door won't sound logical, he admitted that, while he didn't remember exactly, it was definitely him who broke it.
The only thing I remember clearly is that I went to the bathroom and she was like not breathing. She was like this. And I just want to call 911.
And where was she?
She was like between the toilet and the shower thing. Like just handling like, and I thought she was throwing in the shower. But she wasn't.
You thought she was throwing up?
I thought she was throwing up, but I don't hear any noise. So I knocked the door. She announced it, and I kept getting straight to that she wasn't breathing. She was constant. She was talking to me.
Yeah.
But one moment I get so nervous and scared, and then I get the phone and call 911 because she was getting worse and worse.
Another thing to note is how calm he looks, as if he hadn't committed one of the most horrific of crimes the country had ever seen. Moving forward, Fidel mentioned searching for a battery to put in his phone so he could call 911. When the officer questioned whether Maria was breathing at the time of the call, Fidel replied that she wasn't and claimed he had attempted CPR. The officer identified the first loophole in his story regarding whether Maria was conscious. Fidel initially tried convincing them that she was breathing, but later contradicted himself, saying she wasn't. Then, when officers questioned him about where exactly she was in the bathroom and if the bathroom had a shower or bathtub, Fidel stumbled again and apologized for confusing the two. He was trying to put her inside the tub, but he couldn't as, according to him, using too much force to lift her might have caused additional injuries. Fidel moved on to explain how he placed Maria's face under cold water to check if she would react to it.
The neighbors might be hearing me scream.
Okay.
I was screaming for help.
Right. Is that what you were screaming, is help?
Yeah, I was screaming for help, man.
Screaming anything else?
No, man. I was just, baby, why you do this to me, baby? Wake up, baby. Help, help, help.
Imagine committing the unspeakable, gutting your girlfriend alive, watching her bleed out, and then sitting across from officers with a disturbing calmness, as if nothing had happened at all.
I called 911 the first time.
Yep.
Okay.
Did you actually speak to somebody?
I speak to somebody.
Okay.
I spoke to somebody, but she was asking me, where are you? The address. You know, I was so nervous that I just took the phone. Maybe I was the one that threw the phone away and put it away. Then stop, baby, and scream at her because I was so nervous. I really don't have the patience to deal with the address that I don't know. I know my girl's dying right there, man.
The officers then started digging into the details of the activities Fidel claimed to have been involved in. Up to this point, he stuck to the story that he only did it because Maria had asked him to, and being her man, he felt he had to go along with her strange requests. He was trying to show himself as a victim, forced into doing things he didn't want to. But the story the crime scene revealed didn't add up with his claims.
I know it might be a little embarrassing, or you might want to, but listen, I want you to tell me what kind of things. Because you're saying she's asked you to do things, I want you to explain.
She want me to put my arm on her, and stuff like that. Like a open-minded European says, I don't know.
Okay, and what type of things did you do? I know she's asking you, what did you actually do?
Everything she told me to do, I do it.
Okay. Which is what? What did she ask you to do?
I put my arm on her, I put my... I believe I got the bottle. It was a small bottle. It was like a beer bottle or something like that. And she wanted me to put there too. I just trying to make her happy, whatever.
I understand.
But she was constant. She was not. She wasn't like knocked out or something like that. I would never do that to my girl. Knocked out. Okay. That's not me, man. That's not me. But once when we were doing the thing with the arm, that was the last thing. We were in the bathroom, but I know we went to the closet too. I don't remember when or where or how, but we went to the closet too. We were all around.
Like what was going on in the closet?
Same thing, sets, and I believe the bottle thing starts there or something like that.
What other kind of things did you put inside her?
There's just the bottle, my arm, that's it. That thing, that's it. She was crazy, man, and I was crazy too. When we walked for drunk,
He finally mentioned the closet. It had been half an hour into the questioning session, and he still hadn't come to the part where their wild adventure turned so violent that the closet was found with blood dripping out from it. The officer then asked him about the argument that took place when he arrived home, to which he replied,
We were just talking, and she was telling me that thing. One day I wanted you to put bottle, and I was feeling a little low, man, because maybe I think that I'm not maker like
satisfied.
Exactly, which is not true because I'm not a maker satisfied, but I know she was drunk. Sometimes when somebody's drunk, says the truth, and we start arguing. But after, hey baby, come on, this let's not tonight. Yeah. We're gonna be okay.
The officers finally got the hint that Maria questioning his manhood might have been a key factor in how the situation escalated so violently. He then kept on explaining that he wasn't the insecure type while also adding points like he never raised his hand on her. When the officers questioned him about the holes in the walls and the overall damage to the apartment, Fidel took full responsibility for it.
That's the problem. I'm trying to make up in my mind why did I do that. When I do that, it's because I'm pissed. You know? But I don't know what makes me pissed.
Well,
maybe she was talking about her ex-husband or something like that. Because
that makes sense.
You know, I remember today that she was mentioning him about something.
Like what?
I don't. She was mentioning somebody from her family don't like him or something. Don't mention him like a good thing, you know, just something like a bad thing, but still mentioning him. But I don't think that's a reason why I get mad. I get mad for something else. I don't remember whatever I break or whatever I do.
Do you get upset when she brings up her husband or brings up past relationships?
Not really, man. You know, like, she never does that.
At this point, the officers had another key piece of the puzzle. Fidel's anger issues were becoming undeniable, and he had just revealed 2 significant triggers. Maria mentioned her ex-husband, and she made him feel he didn't satisfy her.
Do you remember taking the beer bottle out?
Yeah, man. Of course. Okay. I ain't gonna leave it there, man. I take him out.
Did you put the whole beer bottle in?
Yeah.
The whole bottle?
She was asking for it, man. You know, I did it.
Okay.
I did it.
All right. So as soon as you took the bottle out, she started bleeding?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that was blood. I know it was blood.
And where was this at when this was happening?
That was in the closet, trying to move to the bathroom, man. I really, you know, it was crazy, man. Everything was crazy. Everything was like just together, the brake, the door.
Fidel kept adding new details whenever the officers asked for more specifics, showing he was trying to build his story as he went.
When she says she wants you to leave and you're gonna go to, she needs to throw up, you go out and smoke a cigarette.
Okay.
When you come back, you see all that blood. Weren't you concerned about that? Did you find that?
I see the blood. I know there's blood.
I know, but all that amount of blood, that wasn't a concern for you?
Of course. And I told her, she said, it's okay, it's okay.
I know, but she's not conscious at that point.
No, at that point, not. But I told her, because she was in the bathroom, but there was already, the blood is already there.
The interview dragged on for another hour, until Fidel finally confessed the real reason behind his actions, a moment the officers had been patiently working toward.
Paint the picture for us of what happened so you look like a human being that just snapped, okay? Instead of some sadistic monster who said, you know what? F this bitch, I'm gonna rip her guts out. I don't think you're that person. Either does he. But you have to explain to us so we can explain to other people. Listen, he didn't mean to do this. He really didn't.
I know we made peace, but when we were doing making love, she told me something that I really don't. It just she changed my name. She called me the other name of the other guy, and then she said it twice. And she was wrong. She was confusing me with him. I didn't want to kill her. I know I killed her. That's whatever I did with her was the reason.
The officers then left Fidel alone in the room while they gathered reports from the medical examiner about Maria's injuries.
All the blood, tissue, pieces of her.
Pieces of her insides.
So you did all that was taken out with your hands? Yeah.
Now that all the evidence was present right in front of his eyes, Fidel had no choice but to start accepting what he had been hiding from the officers.
No, and she didn't want that.
Of course.
At what point did she go unconscious? What point in this incident?
From the beginning, man. I'm throwing myself a monster.
Because she called her ex-husband's name?
Huh?
Because she called you by her ex-husband's name?
So, this is what actually happened on that tragic night. When Fidel and Maria returned home and started drinking, Maria informed him of her plans to move out from Miami. The moment she confided in him about wanting to return to Peru, Fidel's frustration became clear. He wasn't happy with her decision, as all he could think about was her car, which he would no longer be able to drive around in. Soon this turned into an argument, where a heated Fidel had started throwing objects in the apartment, including shattering glass across the room. But he eventually calmed down as the two decided not to ruin their weekend. Hence, they made up with each other and got involved in sexual activities. Now, as per Fidel's claims, Maria had called him by her ex-husband's name more than once. Taking this as a grave insult to his manhood, Fidel lost it again. The thought that Maria wasn't feeling satisfied with him enraged him so much that he decided to punish her in the worst ways possible. According to him, it was the first time that Maria had asked him to perform questionable acts on her. Many people believe that Fidel made this entire story up, as he must have thought that it would be the perfect cover-up for the monstrous nature of his crimes. The idea of inserting objects into her was Fidel's idea of torturing her. While having intercourse in the closet, Fidel first smashed all the things in the apartment before coming back to the unconscious Maria to insert all sorts of tortuous items in her. Maria was never fully aware of the brutality he inflicted on her, as she had passed out the moment he inserted his arm all the way to the elbow inside her. He grabbed pieces of her intestine when he took his hand out. He then pushed an entire beer bottle inside her, followed by a hanger hook, flashlight, and hair ironing rod. It's hard to imagine that such acts are even possible. Commendable how the officers dealt so calmly with him and didn't get sick of this vile human. At one moment, he had both his arms inside her vaginal and anal cavity. Both cavities were fatally damaged. Maria, who was drunk to begin with, was not in the position to fight him back. She had been unconscious all this time. When Fidel realized she wasn't responding while he was pulling her internal tissues out, he carried her naked body into the bathroom, where he made one last attempt to wake her up, but he probably knew Maria was dead at that point. Fidel then washed off all the evidence from his hands and left her mutilated body in the bathroom to have a cigarette outside. All of this happened before he made that panicked call to 911. That man knew exactly what he had done to Maria and had no remorse for his actions. All he was concerned about was how he would not be able to meet his children again or go to work. He was scared of going to prison or getting handed the death penalty. The abuse and torture he had inflicted on Maria is not something that even criminals with clear motives in mind plan to do. Her lower body had been so horribly damaged that medical reports showed her perineum. The area between the two cavities was split into halves right from the middle. The medical examiner also identified an injury at the back of her head. During the part she was conscious, her wounds suggested that she had made some failed attempts at defending herself. Eventually, this monster was arrested for his heinous crimes. In hopes of escaping the death sentence or getting a reduced sentence of 50 years, Fidel pleaded guilty to first-degree murder and sexual battery charges in 2017. He was awarded a life sentence without the possibility of parole. He apologized to Maria's family during his sentencing, but there was no remorse on his face. He now rots behind bars while Maria lives on in the memories of her loved ones, an unfortunate woman whose life was tragically ripped apart by a sadistic monster. Fidel gave her no chance even to attempt to escape from this deadly situation. Should violent crimes, especially those involving sexual violence, result in automatic life sentences, or should each case be treated individually? Let us know in the comments section below.